Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 10 fragrances that smell wealthy. Old money. I'm talking about personal chefs, personal drivers. It is a complete coincidence, but one of my favorite shows, Billions, recently came back. If you're not familiar, if you've never seen it, I highly recommend, but watch it from the beginning. If you are familiar with the show, Wendy Rhodes. She's someone who I would imagine wears fragrances from this list. And another one that came to mind was Big Little Lies. So think Monterey, California housewife. Just a rich lacrosse mom who lunches all day long, unlimited access, heir to the estate type of money. That's the mood we're going for today. Now, unfortunately, wearing these fragrances will not magically turn you into a multimillionaire or billionaire, but at least you will smell like $1,000,000. I'm starting with a relatively new addition to my collection. I talked about this during my last perfume haul. It's Haley from Tiziana Terenzi. I wore this perfume all last week out and about running errands. And I have to tell you guys, I really felt something every time I sprayed this fragrance. And I think it is because it is just so special. You spritz it on and it smells like a special occasion fragrance. It happens to be a bit pricey. Not all of them are. You certainly don't have to spend $1,000,000 to smell like $1,000,000. But it just elevated my mood. And I think when you wear a sophisticated fragrance or any of the fragrances on this list, you introduce yourself different. You hold yourself differently. You walk into the room differently. There is value behind investing in a good power fragrance. Haley is part of the Luna collection, named after Halley's Comet. It has top notes of passion fruit, cassis, rose, and lemon. Middle notes are peach, raspberry, floral notes, green notes, and cinnamon. Base notes are musk, vanilla, woody notes, and amber. So you really have a lot going on with this fragrance. It's a little bit floral, woody, musk, sweetness from the fruits. It's everything combined into one perfectly balanced fragrance. And I really think that's why it's such a standout, is because it has a little bit of everything all wrapped into one. And it makes it very versatile as well. When I smell this fragrance, I think, wow, that is so sophisticated, so special. I wouldn't dare wear this on a daily basis, but now I've come to terms with the fact that my life is just not that exciting, and if I wait to wear this for only special occasions, it might only be a couple of times a year, and that is unacceptable. I need to wear it more than that. Of course, the smell is divine. It's incredible. It's a little bit sweet and fruity. And it's not really light daytime. You don't smell this fragrance and think, oh wow, that is the perfect daytime perfume. No, I smell this and I think, wow, this is like Oscar's red carpet type of fragrance. If you're familiar with Elixir from Roja Parfum, I would say this is maybe, they're different, but it's kind of a really intense version of Elixir. It's in the same family. I think if you like that fragrance, you will also really appreciate this as well. And it's not just the fragrance that smells incredible. It smells high quality. And I'm not sure my nose is quite that refined, but when I smell this fragrance, I just know they used the best ingredients. It smells so expensive and luxurious. Everything about it. And then, of course, the bottle is incredibly beautiful. The presentation, the red velvet box that it came in, incredible. Down to the last detail. The quintessential Haley woman. She cares about the details. Everything about her is immaculate, down to the fragrance, and she goes with this one. And since I mentioned it, we might as well talk about it since it's also on the list. This is Elixir, the Parfum from Roja Parfums. I love this fragrance so much. I also have the Essence de Parfum, which I guess is their eau de parfum. This one is so much stronger. It's a bit bolder, more intense. The Essence de Parfum is also lovely. That's what first introduced me to the fragrance, and I fell in love. I would say that's kind of a princess perfume, and I do think that one leans a little bit more daytime. It's a little bit more airy versus this version, which could be worn evening, special occasions, but it just smells incredible. Just an intoxicating fragrance. It is so feminine. So I think this would also be really nice for brides. It's amazing. Similar in certain aspects to Haley, but a little bit sweeter, a little bit more fresh and vibrant, and a little bit fruitier. But other than that, they are very similar and they have so many similar notes. The top note is bergamot. Heart notes are lily of the valley, rose de may, jasmine, ylang-ylang, heliotrope, violet, raspberry, and peach. Base notes are cinnamon, cedarwood, vanilla, sandalwood, orris, amber, and musk. This fragrance is such a mood. When you spritz this on, you just feel instantly like you are queen of the castle. It really is one of those fragrances that elevates the look. It's that perfect last accessory. No matter what you're wearing, if you spritz this on, you look amazing. You smell amazing. It just takes everything to the next level. I think only a really good fragrance can do that. It not only makes you smell really great, it makes you smell rich. You could be wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but when you spritz this on, suddenly it's model off-duty. That sort of transformation, it's really incredible. I smell sparkling fruits and a hint of musk. And there's a touch, just a teeny tiny powdery note in there. But it's just so elegant and just incredibly feminine. One of the most feminine fragrances I have ever smelled. A queen's perfume. And this is one of my favorite fragrance bottles. It is so beautiful, just oozes luxury. It looks expensive. And if the fragrance inside wasn't as good as it is, this might not be as appealing with the rhinestones on the cap, but because the fragrance is incredible, you have this very luxurious, ornate, kind of gaudy bottle, and it just goes so well together. Perfectly suited for the bottle it's in. Next, we're toning it down a little bit. I'm pumping the brakes. It's still not an affordable fragrance, but at $170, this is far less expensive than the previous two fragrances. This is Rose's Musk from Montale. Another thing is, if you wait and you purchase from a place like Bloomingdale's or Saks, where they often have promotions, there's almost always something going on. Be patient, wait for it. I always do. Whenever I'm purchasing fragrances, I always wait for a good deal. You can knock off some dollars that way as well. This is one of those fragrances that smells somewhat simple, and yet it is incredibly elegant. The beauty comes from the simplicity of this fragrance. The previous two, they have all sorts of notes listed in there. It's a whole laundry list. Whereas with this, you basically have rose and musk. I believe there's maybe ambergris in the base, but that's about it. It's a lot of rose. And rose is one of those notes that I think smells very wealthy. It just smells very expensive, a bit traditional, maybe a little conservative. I think a lot of people associate rose with their grandmother or an elderly woman, but not all rose fragrances smell dated, and I think Rose's Musk is the perfect example because when I smell this fragrance, I think it smells very classy. It's the kind of fragrance that you spritz it on and people might turn their heads. They might look at you like, ooh, who is she? The woman who wears Rose's Musk isn't necessarily flashy. She probably doesn't have logo mania everywhere, but you know she is somebody special, somebody to look out for. And to me, that smells very wealthy. I hate the bottle. All of the Montale bottles are so drippy and the juice just squirts out. It's not a very refined experience, but the scent inside is worth it. Elegance. This to me smells like personal driver, personal chef. I think this is signature scent worthy, definitely more of a daytime fragrance, kind of an everyday luxury, but it smells so nice, and I have complimented so many women wearing this fragrance. It's how I discovered it, actually. I had a friend who was wearing this, and I just could not get enough. I could not get over how beautiful she smelled. If you like rose, if you like floral fragrances, this is incredible because it does smell like rose, but it's not a straightforward kind of clean garden rose because it does have the musk in there. And there's a little something else. Not really spicy, but there's a little something something. So it's not so straightforward that it's sort of boring and what's the point? It's special. No perfume list like this would be complete without at least mentioning some of the classics like Chanel No. 5, Coco from Chanel, Shalimar from Guerlain is another one that comes to mind. Women have been wearing them for decades upon decades. In the case of Chanel No. 5, 100 years this year. But this is a more modern twist, and I don't think it ever became as popular as maybe they expected, but it's Chanel No. 5 Low. I love this interpretation. I don't wear it that often, simply because I don't think it's really my style. I think maybe if I was still working in the department store, I might wear it a little bit more. But this is such a beautiful fragrance, and it does capture that elegance, that timelessness of Chanel No. 5, but it is a little bit more palatable, I would say, for the modern generation. They tweaked the formula a little bit, and I remember when this launched, they said it was the only time in the history of the fragrance that had ever happened. They added cedar, and I think they probably tweaked a few other things. No. 5 Low launched in 2016. Top notes are aldehydes, lemon, neroli, mandarin orange, orange bergamot, and lime. Middle notes are ylang-ylang, jasmine, and May rose. Base notes are white musk, orris root, cedar, and vanilla. If you want to capture that spirit of Chanel No. 5, but you're not a fan of the original, I think No. 5 Low is the perfect alternative. I think the problem with this fragrance is that too many people don't give it a chance. Because initially it does smell so much like Chanel No. 5. But you have to wait. The beauty is truly in the dry down of this fragrance. I can just see somebody trying this in store, smelling it on a blotter card, and walking away because they think, no, that's not for me. It still smells too dated or too powdery. Or maybe they don't like the aldehydes, because at the time that was really groundbreaking technology. But now, and I don't know if it's because No. 5, but I think aldehydes in fragrance is not very common, and it's sort of associated with fragrances like No. 5 and just older fragrances. As it dries down, it gets lighter and lighter, less powdery. The cedar really comes through, and it is so elegant. It's such a different experience smelling the fragrance on a blotter, or maybe just testing it out in store on your arm, versus wearing the fragrance out and about and seeing the type of reactions you get or the way you even feel about the fragrance. It's just wonderful. In the same fragrance neighborhood as Rose's Musk and No. 5 Low is Penhaligon's The Favorite. Just an elegant, very sophisticated fragrance that is maybe a bit simple, maybe a little bit reserved. Perfect for every day, would make an incredible signature scent. But when you smell this fragrance, it kind of just smells like money. Oh, it's so good. This is one of the prettiest floral fragrances. It is so clean. It's a very clean floral, almost smells like you're walking through wildflowers. There's not one individual floral note that really hits me in the nose. It just smells beautiful, like a walk through the park on a spring or summer morning when there's still dewdrops on all of the leaves. Flowers everywhere, just all different types of wildflowers. Bees buzzing, butterflies. I'm painting a whole picture for you, but that's truly what comes to mind whenever I smell this fragrance. And a perfume like this is always appropriate. There's never a wrong time or right time. You can wear this fragrance anytime. I think this could be a boardroom fragrance. Definitely something you could wear to work, for a first date, for meeting the parents. Any sort of occasion where you really want to impress somebody, but you're not trying to make a really loud statement with your fragrance. You know, you want to shine first, and the fragrance complements you. It doesn't detract from you. Next, we have another Chanel. This is the ultimate ladies who lunch fragrance. I referenced Big Little Lies at the beginning of the video. When I think about the women in that show, I can picture all of them. Every single one of those characters wearing Chanel Beige, especially Nicole Kidman. In fact, I was just thinking about it. I could see Nicole Kidman in real life wearing beige. I don't know. I just picture either a Monterey, California housewife, but also maybe a Hamptons housewife, kind of like the ultimate New York mom, a Manhattan housewife. Her kids are all in private school, and she spends her days bouncing around between Fifth Avenue stores, going to Bergdorf's, Waldorf Astoria for lunch, the Plaza, just doing fabulous things to spend her time. That is the woman who wears beige, and she wears it casually. This is not a special occasion fragrance, even though it is one of the exclusives, so it is a bit more expensive. This is a fragrance that she's just going to spritz on to take the trash out. Not that she would lift a finger to take the trash out, but to walk her 5 white crusty dogs through Central Park. That is what I picture when I smell Chanel Beige. It is a beautiful fragrance. It's very happy and vibrant, and it is just very energizing. You have honey, frangipani, freesia. It's a floral perfume, but it's just very bright. Kind of awakens the senses whenever you spritz it on. It is the fragrance of someone who does not have a care in the world. That's the type of woman who wears beige. And of course, anybody can wear beige, truly. It's just flowers, happiness, sunshine in a bottle. No worries, no bad days, no stresses. She either doesn't work, or if she works, she's just organized. You know, she always looks really sharp. She's always early to work, last one to leave, never has laundry piled up, always has a clean house, clean bedroom. Just everything is just clean, organized. The ultimate sophisticated woman fragrance. And it is so feminine and perfect for every day. Another great signature scent as well. Next, we have a painfully predictable addition to the list, but I had to do it. Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge 540. I love this fragrance, and I know there are plenty of people out there who do not like it, but if you do like this, you will probably agree with me when I say it falls into so many different categories. It's nearly impossible to not include Baccarat Rouge 540 on whatever fragrance list because it is beast mode. It's so long wearing. It's very strong. It's great for date nights. It's a great signature scent. It's a great special occasion fragrance. I mean, it just checks so many boxes. And I also happen to think it smells incredibly wealthy. And I think that's probably because it's very expensive. So in order to buy this fragrance, chances are you have the money to spend. And most complimented too. It's one of my most complimented fragrances for sure. And if you're new to my channel, I tell this story a lot when I talk about it, but I first discovered this because I chased somebody down who was wearing this, and I demanded that she tell me what fragrance she was wearing. And I immediately purchased for myself. And I don't think I have ever left the house wearing Baccarat and gone to somewhere pretty social where I was around people and not received a compliment. It is just a head turner. It's delicious. It has that yummy vanilla sugar cotton candy, makes your mouth water. Addictive. Oh, it is so addictive. Once you start smelling it, you just don't want to stop smelling it. And it just oozes luxury and wealth and money. Now, it does have a cult following. It's very trendy. People just go crazy for this fragrance. So I think it's developed sort of an infamy, if you will, that so many people purchase it, wear it, talk about it, depending on your preferences. You know, if you don't care if other people are wearing your fragrance, that's not going to bother you. But if you're spending hundreds of dollars on a fragrance, you want to stand out. You don't want to walk into the room of a holiday party and almost everybody there is wearing Baccarat because they want to smell good too. Which sounds like a made-up scenario, but I will tell you guys a story. When I was going to some sort of event, I think it was the kickoff party for Swim Week in July, I was walking up to the party and there were so many people around, and I could pick up little scents everywhere. So many times I picked up Baccarat and I just would laugh to myself. I'm like, ooh, she's wearing Baccarat. Ooh, they're wearing Baccarat. Baccarat. I thought this is the perfect example of one of those occasions. And maybe this is a Miami thing. I don't know if that would happen most places, but at least in this little concentrated social circle of Miami, when you're going out for a night on the town, you're going to smell Baccarat. And for men, I think the equivalent would be Aventus. If you go out to any nightclub in Miami or a trendy restaurant, you're going to smell Aventus on somebody. Somebody's going to be wearing it. Do they smell amazing? Absolutely. Is it still an intoxicating, sexy fragrance? Yes, absolutely. I'm sure many people will disagree with me on this, but I think the more a fragrance becomes popular, the status starts to come down just a little bit. It's good enough that it kind of holds its own weight, but just a little bit. There are a lot of other fragrances now that smell really, really good that you're not going to smell on other people. In fact, I did an entire video on those fragrances. I will link it down below. I have 3 fragrances left here to talk about, and this one is a classic. It also falls into the more affordable category depending on where you're purchasing. This is Dolce & Gabbana The One. It's been around for such a long time, and I just love it. I will never get sick of Dolce & Gabbana The One. The original, they've since come out with, I think, a couple different interpretations. I don't like them as much as the original. It's so nice. To me, this is what luxury smells like. And I think the gold bottle, the gold juice with the gold top, there's something about this fragrance that is almost like old Hollywood glamour. Key notes include amber, jasmine, peach, and vanilla, which gives it that really nice creaminess. I think everybody has a fragrance like this, something that you just associate with luxury and class. Maybe it's from a scent memory, or maybe somebody you knew who wore the fragrance. That to me is Dolce & Gabbana The One. This is my Chanel number 5. You know, I don't really smell number 5 on people that often, but if I smell somebody wearing Dolce & Gabbana The One, it's like, wow, that person has style. It's just class, luxury, elegance in a bottle. Next is another new addition to my collection and new favorite. This is Chere from Mizensir. I love this fragrance. This was a wow, love at first sniff. I'm so happy I picked up that little discovery set from Bloomingdale's, because all of the fragrances, I believe there were only 4, they were all really good, but this was one of those moments where I thought, yep, I'm buying the full bottle. As soon as they have a promotion going on, I'm adding this to cart, and I don't care. I'm going to purchase this because it is so good, and it does stand out in my collection. There are fragrances that I would wear for maybe the same occasion, but it doesn't smell like anything else I've smelled. It's very warm, cozy, very romantic. I think this is going to be a great fragrance going into fall, winter, or the colder months. It smells like a slightly sweet, warm hug, like a hug from a loved one. It's got amber, vanilla. It's a little bit powdery, teeny tiny bit, but very creamy. I'd been thinking about this list for a while, sort of mentally putting it together, and when I smelled this fragrance the first time, I knew instantly it belonged on this list because it smells so sophisticated. Just one of the most elegant fragrances I've ever smelled. Key notes include orange tree blossom extract, ambrox, jasmine sambac, bourbon vanilla absolute, musk, Australian sandalwood essential oil. I love a sandalwood vanilla combination, and the sandalwood is not too much. It's just the perfect amount so that it doesn't smell too woody or too heavy. It will not give you a headache. Well, at least it didn't give me a headache. I certainly can't speak for everybody. But that was my one concern the first time I smelled it. It was like, ooh, will this be too much later on? And it wasn't, which is why I ended up purchasing the full-size bottle. Last but certainly not least, my true love, Greenwich Village from Bond Number 9, New York. I love this fragrance. And it has been a while since I've talked about this. I think when I first purchased this, I talked about it so much that I felt like I needed to overcompensate, so I went radio silent. In fact, I received a comment today. I have yet to respond, but I need to, from somebody who said, did you just abandon Greenwich Village? When you're constantly trying new fragrances and trying to discover new perfumes to talk about, I end up trying new things so much that I don't really go back to my favorites. But this is one of the best fragrances in my entire collection, and there's just something about it. This to me is just as good as a Baccarat Rouge 540. Keynotes include cassis, lychee, mandarin, peony, water lily, patchouli, jasmine petals, ambrox, peach, musk, vanilla, oak moss, and praline. It's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. Maybe a little bit fruity, but you have the oak moss, the praline, the musk. That really stands out to me, and definitely the lychee. I don't really get a lot of patchouli, which is a good thing. Patchouli can be hit or miss. I wouldn't say this is a traditionally rich smelling fragrance. Like when I smell this, I don't think of old money, wealth, because it smells very new and fresh. This smells like an incredibly modern fragrance, but it does smell like something that a really stylish, really fashionable, like a fashionista woman who is just very glamorous and very luxurious would wear. It's probably the coolest perfume on the list. And I know that descriptor doesn't really match with what we've been talking about, but it's just so cool. Like when I think of this fragrance, when I smell it, when I think of the woman who kind of embodies the scent, she's the trendsetter, she's the trailblazer, the tastemaker. Maybe like a Vogue, Elle magazine, Harper's Bazaar editor type of woman. Somebody who looks amazing head to toe. She always attends the best events, the best restaurants, just living a glamorous life. I think that's what it is. It smells glamorous more than it smells old money rich. Signature scent worthy, head turner, compliment getter, one of my most complimented fragrances through COVID and lockdown. I haven't been out and about as much, but anytime I wear this out, my friends go crazy for it. And that completes my list of perfumes that smell like money. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you had fun with it. I've seen so many of my favorite content creators do this tag. I definitely wanted to participate. As always, I want to hear from you guys if you have any special perfumes that just smell like a wealthy woman. When you spritz it on, you instantly feel like $1,000,000. Let us know down below in the comment section, because that is truly the power and really the purpose and value of today's list. You know, it's something so simple like scent of the day, fragrance of the day. But if there's a fragrance that makes you feel like you are worth millions, billions of dollars, you know, you just feel that confidence, that's a good day. You string together a bunch of good days, it becomes a good month, a good year, a good life, and we're only here for a short period of time. So better to enjoy it every single day and spritz on your finest fragrances that make you feel really good. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.